the Mat podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of Better Hit the Mat podcast, allegedly a fitness podcast. Yeah. So we're episode 6. We're still here. And I'm joined as ever by Tom over there, Travis down there, and Ryan over there. Hi, guys.
What's up, man?
Hey.
Everyone had a good week?
Oh, coming
Absolutely.
off a big episode, guys. This is a big week for us.
Yes, great week.
That was a lot of fun.
You may have noticed Travis is still here after we ceremoniously fired him. Unfortunately, there's a few reasons for that. He's a bit more devious than we gave him credit for. How he got my naked yoga pictures, I don't know, but that's me on the fence anyway.
Can't reveal sources, that's for sure.
I also found out that he had physically threatened Tina. Tina is a nice young lady, and he had somebody sent out to take her out. Was supposed to kneecap her, but one of our great fans interjected, stopped the kneecapping. So Travis, well done, but you didn't finish, but not happy to see you back after that.
And last but not least, he actually had a lawyer draft up a contract and sent it to us that he is by law allowed to be part of this podcast, or we have to completely cancel it. So I guess we're just going to put up with him for
The CYA.
what do we got? Maybe 4 more episodes before we're done?
At least 3.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have anything else to do on Sunday afternoon, so I got to stay here. So it is what it is.
Okay. Well,
So I guess it's water under the bridge. Sorry we tried to fire you. Welcome back, I guess, you dick.
So
Cheers,
on that,
motherfucker.
cheers.
Cheers. How's it feel to be back, man?
Come on.
How's it feel, dude?
I can breathe now.
Yeah. Heavyweight leaning off you, I'm sure.
Tina and I are friends again. We're friends again.
So in 6 to 9 weeks, when you actually get that watch from wish.com, I do appreciate if you'd send it back. It set us back $3.99. So if you wouldn't mind, back to China it goes.
It's got to go right to the slush fund, man. We may meet by $4 in Facebook ads. You never know. So
Or more luring on our end. We might need stronger defense funds.
Maybe we just keep it, have it lingering in the background as a reminder for anybody who fucks up. Like, who wants
That's a good
to watch?
point, actually.
There you go.
That's a good point.
Maybe I'll hang on.
there you go.
Not a bad idea.
Make sure you pay the shipping. Okay, that's fine.
But in all seriousness, guys, we have had a great response to Vance's episode, which, I mean, there was never going to be any doubt. The guy is an absolute legend in and out of the DDP yoga community. I mean, he's about as internet famous as you can get without being a 25-year-old influencer from Los Angeles. And it's been outstanding. Have you guys heard anything great? I'm sure you all have probably received some messages here and there from it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Loads.
The thing I always love is like you know if you're producing something worthwhile if the episode drops and within the length of the episode you're getting feedback, and that happens to us every week, and I'm always humbled by that people literally when it drops they put it straight on. That's phenomenal, and it's all been lovely this week.
For sure.
Absolutely lovely.
Yeah, and actually Vance's wife watched it, so sorry. We didn't consider that one, but no, she said she listened to it at work, and then I think finished watching it, or listened to it on her way to work, and then finished watching it on the way home, and she really enjoyed it. So that's always good when you've got Mary's approval. You're probably doing something right. So that's always awesome. One feedback that we got. I had went ahead and did that nice shameless self plug in the actual DDP Yoga page, and Stacy had commented, Stacy Podgorski, that she was really, really moved immediately by Tom and his recognition with his photo that he was not the most proud of, and how he still, kind of sees that, and it fuels you, but at the same time kind of haunts you probably.
Mm-hmm.
And that seemed to, that really seemed to resonate with her. And I think we're seeing that occur almost like it's an ongoing theme that we're seeing through every episode, that those mental issues. It's far more than physical. And, I'm sure plenty of people could look at Tom on the surface and go, okay, well, that guy, I mean, you're a solid 5, dude. So that's good. And
4.5. 4.5.
With the ring light, I'm a 5.
You guys,
two.
yeah, you guys great. You guys great different over there. But no, the fact that even somebody with your physique and your looks, that it bothers you too. And I mean, let's be honest, there are plenty of people that get into shape because of insecurities, or because of because of trauma through their history, or either their childhood or whatever else. And that seemed to really, really hit home with a lot of people.
That seems to be a very common fix with people. If they're either feeling bad about themselves or something, even if they feel about themselves or someone has told them about them, a lot of their route is through fitness, is try to build up their physique or try to change their appearance. And unfortunately, that appearance may change for you, but those internal feelings are still going to stay there. Those insecurities are still going to stay there. So I think it's awesome that we're going to keep up that theme of every, guest we're talking to will probably have that same sort of story to tell us. So it's really, really an important aspect of any sort of life change that we're all making.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. And you see it so often. I mean, how many times do you see? I mean, there are a few times that people want to get into shape. It's New Year's, before a wedding, or like right after a breakup, right? You got to show that person what they've been missing. And it's like, it's amazing how those things just fuel you. It's either you're looking forward to something or you've got something driving you, but whatever it is that gets you going, it's from there, it's just a matter of continuing it. So
for sure.
So I have to bring the every high needs a low. So I've actually got to bring in the Better Hit the Mat complaints department. Apparently that falls to me. Last week, no question from 5-year-old Tom. What's that about?
So we were getting so into it. And honestly, I'll tell everybody the truth. I didn't hear a fucking thing again because my audio was so bad. I didn't get to add it in. I thought Dallas's 5-year-old hands on my back was the 5-year-old reference. But unfortunately, some people picked that up, some people didn't. But I do have something though for this week for sure, and I have a great story actually. Let's get through the reviews first, and then I have something I wanted to bring on the table.
That's fantastic. I love that you pulled that out. Dallas 5-year-old fans, and I believe I'm going to put a name with that complaint. That would be Jamie Miskell. Yeah.
Oh yes.
She is very upset with you, so you better make it worth her while this week.
I will reach out individually. 5-year-old Tom may give her a quick phone call.
Maybe you can do a 5-year-old drawing and send it.
Kiss my 5-year-old Tom. Kiss my.
Done.
Actually,
you will get a crayon picture from 5-year-old Tom.
Upside down and left-handed, man. That's the best way.
I will give Jamie a bit of a shout out because she's had a really bad ankle injury. And I just want to say she's exemplifying the warrior spirit right now, because a day later, after coming home with a massive cast on, she did bed flex, and she's like, I'm not losing my streak, and I have a lot of fucking respect for that. And I know Jamie because she was a listener to my previous podcast, The Little Pot of Horrors, hence all this horror paraphernalia everywhere. And she sort of, I don't know if that was the introduction, but yeah, it's we have a common love of horror films, so. Yeah, I just want to give her a shout out because Jamie's awesome. So there we are.
Oh, is she Final Girl on Instagram? Is that I think so. Her handle? Yeah. Yep. Great reference. Great film too. Final Girl. Excellent film.
It's a good film. Yeah. But talking about me being wrong, you've just brought up another thing, which is a bit of a short. I am not done with the complaints department, I'm afraid.
Oh yes.
So this I find a little unjust because we had correspondence from one Mr. Will McKay, who did the lovely intro thing for Nom Nom with Dr. Tom. And he claims that the picture I said he was in the background with Vance, that it was not him, that it was in fact Rich Miller.
Who?
Well,
Who?
And I think DDP yoga instructor. I know who he is, but yeah, I call bullshit on that because I'm just going to line this up now, bring the photo back in. That's Will. Isn't that Will?
Will. 100%.
That is Will. I don't know what 100%. He's talking about. As if I'd get him confused with someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just
I don't know.
ridiculous, man. Trying to put you out there and just call you out. And look, dude, look at the photo harder. We'll get a bigger phone. Not
He's
that
trying
hard.
to get you fired.
Honestly.
Yep. Oh, trying to get you fired. Uh-oh. 2 weeks in a row.
So I'm going to bring a medical perspective on this. And Will, if you want some professional help with this, there is a condition called prosopagnosia, which means that you cannot recognize your own face. So I don't know what Will sees in the mirror. Maybe Will sees Rich Miller in the mirror when he looks in the mirror. So there's a possibility. So Will, if you're having difficulty with that, we all see you. I know you don't see yourself in the picture. Reach out. I can do a professional assessment if we want to. We can get you down to North Carolina in the office and check that out. And maybe we can get you set up for some clinical trials, because I can imagine that's really, really confusing. Not seeing yourself. Yeah. Very, very confusing.
Yeah. We could set up a GoFundMe for him to get you down there to North Carolina and get into Dr. Tom's office. I mean,
I think that would be
something
great.
our listeners would help you with.
I'm very expensive. I'm not going to lie. So you guys better get a really, really high amount there. I love you, Will, but I'm not free. So
damn right he is. He has to pay for all the equipment he's not using.
So true. So true.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we have an optometrist on our show. So anyway, moving on swiftly to good stuff. We got some reviews?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. I'll go ahead and take the first one here.
How hard is his name going to be? Oh, you got a Scott Hamby.
I had a very easy name this week. Thank you, Scott. It's actually Hamby.
Actually, the H is silent, man. It's Hamby.
And Scott is actually pronounced David.
What was Stacey's surname again?
Podorsky.
No.
Podorsky. Yeah, she sent me a message, told me. That's exactly how
okay. Oh, fine.
Yeah. Maybe I did mess it up. Maybe not. She'll send me another message. But anyway, this is from Scott Hamby. He says, if you haven't seen the BTTR Hit the Mat podcast on YouTube or listen to it at all, I highly suggest it. Just finished episode 4. I listened to it on Spotify while driving into work and watched it on YouTube. Wow. That's amazing.
Why literally would you do
the
that?
Best. Right? I know. Literally the best motivation for me personally, and has opened my eyes up to finding out what truly works for me nutritionally. Trust me, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But hey, if you got the time, check them out. If you've fallen off the wagon, maybe these guys can help you get back on it. I'm motivated after every episode. These guys are really doing something amazing here and adding a little more awesome to an already amazing community. In parentheses, caution, if you don't like the potty mouse, it may not be for you. Hashtag BTTR Hit the Mat. Scott, that was awesome. I mean, taking it to the next level. Spotify and then getting and watching it on YouTube. That's next level right there.
That's awesome.
I thought that was just my mom that did that. So that's cool knowing there are 2 people that do that.
But I've had several people message me and just tell me that listening to it, if you have to, is great. But, we do so much crazy,
ridiculous stuff
that it's worth watching. So
we have so much sign language.
That's great to hear. A lot of sign language.
So much sign language.
Not a bunch of ASL on here, but we got a few things.
Just a little bit.
So cheers to you, Scott.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Cheers, Scott.
Well done, Scott.
Thank you.
Our next one comes from Kenny Dunn. Have to agree with that broad that wanted to replace Travis 100%. Also, why is Tom still on the podcast after coming in second? I only listen to podcasts with winners. I've listened to all 5 of your podcasts multiple times, and they all suck.
I love them multiple times.
That, for anybody who doesn't know, that's Kenny. Kenny is awesome. He is a hell of a transformation story, both physically, but he also celebrated. He went viral with his own post. Actually, I think it was through Reddit. He posted his 3 years sober, and he posted it basically in quarters. There's his physical transformation, so obviously a lot of weight loss, but there's his sobriety.
This one right here is the amazing one. Look at his face. No, back one, pause.
It's on loop.
It's on loop. Oh, well, if you could pause it. This one right here.
He went really viral over Reddit because he was wearing that that DDP yoga shirt. And a lot of people were like, oh, hey, that you do that too. And so it was a transformation, you know, with stopping at drinking, losing weight. And along the way, just kind of it got picked up through Reddit, and he was on like MSN.com and a bunch of other magazines did coverage on him. And he's been and he's still to this day continuing. He's in our 100-day challenge group, and he's on the Team Savage that I'm on, and he's on his second 100-day consecutive, I think, with us. And just absolutely killing it every single day, 60 to 90 minutes every day, while working a crazy schedule. He does stuff for like the train yards. I don't know if he's an engineer or what, but he works like extremely long shifts and lots of days in a row. And half of his stuff happens in hotels, and he makes it work. So, and obviously he's kidding there, because he is truly a fan. I promise you. He did not thumbs down. That's how I know he's lying.
So waiting for it.
Well, with the use of the word broad, you should have read it like a 50s style, since he said, have to agree with the broad, yeah. Want to replace Trent, yeah.
You're probably right.
I'm always honored to be given shit by someone like that, so that's awesome.
100%.
Cheers, Kenny.
Cheers, Kenny.
Cheers.
Guys, we have one last
one. We get too much feedback. I'm going to be hammered before half time.
Oh, we got two
here.
Who's next?
Who's going next?
Holy shit, Tom, this is you.
It's me? Okay. So it is Tom Soroka, who is a very intelligent and very well-spoken man. His review is Boz talks funny. Travis is a saint. Ryan is awesome. Tom is a giant pile of shit.
Well,
fuck you.
He's right on. Cheers, Tom.
Yeah, another amazing transformation story, Tom Soroka. I mean, just one of the best. There it is. Look at that, guys.
There it is. Honestly, I thought he looked better as a monster, but hey.
That's all.
Yeah, you would have thought it. Yeah, his wife would have said, "Hey, man, no need.
Poor Jen.
Return those DVDs."
That's all DDP yoga. The fire.
So my question: how does Jen put up with that hand? I don't know how she does it. It's unbelievable. But
nope, not going
Tommy,
there.
we love you, buddy. Tommy Buns. That's what I'm going to start calling him from this point on. Tommy Buns. Like Tom Soroka.
I'd say my initial reaction to feedback from Tom Soroka was, who the fuck's that? But anyway, I'm gonna live to regret that.
Right, he'll get you back for that one.
Yep. I just opened the floodgates, I know. So we have one last bit. And that falls to me to read, but thankfully I don't have to read it because I am master of the technology.
Hey boys, just catching up on episode 5 while I'm here on the bike. Started wearing socks, contrary to my original thought. I got a little foot fungus, but it's nothing a little bit of my own urine couldn't clear up. Okay, so I had to pause pretty early because you guys were talking a lot of shit about Travis. And I mean, we're talking Shamrock Fitness here, my friends. So. They don't call him the Sham Cock for nothing. So I think the next episode, you guys should start by saying something nice about Travis. For example, I'll go first for you. Travis has the most beautiful eyes of any man I have ever seen. The first time I looked into his eyes was like the first time I heard Bohemian Rhapsody. Think about it, guys.
Well done.
Absolutely.
I'm not going first.
I will go first. Travis, you must have an amazing personality in order to secure a woman as amazing as Robin.
Well, that's a backhanded compliment, but I take that.
Well done. So Travis, we've met in person. We've spent some time together. You smell a lot better than you look.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I've been close to Travis. He smells lovely.
Like Irish Spring?
More like Irish whiskey, but
Aged slightly.
Imagine what Conor McGregor smells like after 4 rounds of a fight. It's kind of like that, yeah. But I love you, buddy.
Travis, from the heart, I have to quite honestly say that getting to know you means that when your face appears on this computer screen, the urge to vomit has almost completely subsided now.
Oh, well,
That's sweet.
that
Dude.
is so sweet. I'm glad I could be of assistance to you. You guys are so kind. Cheers, fellas.
You know, it's
Cheers.
We love you.
And cheers, Ryan.
You can't say something genuinely nice. We were joking, and then you said, "Dick."
You think I mean cheers to you guys, you fuckers? No.
He is the fourth best instructor of the group, so that's cool.
He is.
In all seriousness, Travis,
I want to put you over.
Awesome. You are 100% awesome. You give a shit about the community. You reach out to people all the time. If somebody misses one of your workouts, you fire up Howlin' at the Moon workout. You do crazy amounts. You've left the Facebook space to do stuff with Marcel on Transition Coach, and yet you still end up doing workouts for free on Facebook because people want it and they need it and they can't afford it necessarily to do it on Transition Coach. You are 100% a genuine good human.
All right.
For those of you who don't know,
love you, fellas.
And you are an amazing instructor. Of all the people that I've taken the classes, I have to say, I think that you are.
Whew. Glad I printed out these notes. Whew.
I'm glad. Maybe you should take that shirt off. Part of him wants to do it.
That would be. We said we had a few more episodes, right?
We're trying to get ratings. We're trying to get ratings.
Yeah, only if you ask 4 or more on underneath. For those of you who don't know enough about Transition Coach, though, just to put this in context, Marcel Doré had the largest physical classes of DDPY on the planet, and he has asked Travis to teach classes on his platform. That doesn't tell you the kind of guy Travis is. I don't know what does. Okay,
and the level of instruction he does, because Marcel holds the highest standard his classes. There's no way he would just have any jabroni come in there and teach. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, he's super tempted to even share that Zoom link with me. He's like, I don't know.
Cheers, fellas. I love you guys. Love you.
Love you too, buddy. Yeah. So, real quick, I wanted to give a quick note. Boz, something special happened to someone in your life, yeah?
Yeah.
Did it? Yeah. My good lady. Again, in record time. I don't know how the hell she does it, but she's certified L2 this week. So I think we're now the... Thank you.
Congratulations.
That makes us the only L2 couple, I think, that teach.
You're the first family.
Yeah, we're an L2 family. So
also, too. Well, speaking of Lavinia and Boz, since we're doing a lot of ass kissing on this episode, genuinely, happy anniversary, guys!
Oh,
anniversary!
Thank you.
Cheers!
You guys,
One of these years, I'll bore everybody with our story, but just for those who don't know, Lavinia is legitimately the first girl I ever fell in love with when I was 17 years old. And then after 7 amazing months, she was torn out of my life, and I was not to see her again for 16 years plus. And we reconnected after both being married and both of our relationships independently failing. We came back together and we just picked up where we left off. And that's how we've been together since. So,
Wow. Our love is like a storybook story.
We need more singing from Travis on the show. If he's not taking a shirt off, he has to sing at least.
You have to do the rest of the episode in that voice.
Singing like the boss.
But of course, how did we celebrate our 6-year anniversary? That's right. We did a DDPY class where we did 6 counts of everything. I called it the 666 workout, and I made those fuckers do a 60-second alligator.
So romantic.
So that's how you celebrate.
So romantic.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah. That's incredible, man. And it's well deserved. I was in a lot of her L2 routines through all the quarantine. She is an awesome instructor, and her growth in that 2.5 months where she really hit it is just unreal. Absolutely unreal and really well earned. So
that's good.
Ryan actually helped both of us with our L2s. He was there every time we did an L2 practice. Ryan was in the room. It gave us really good feedback every time and just helped us be better at it. So Enough asking. We're kissing each other's asses so much tonight. People are going to vomit.
That's right.
I know.
Let's get back to knowing you guys all suck.
All right. Should we go ahead and bring this week's guest in?
Absolutely.
All right. This week's guest is a dear friend of mine. He is one of the most dedicated DDPY users in the community. He's recently hit his 2-year anniversary in the program, and he is a firm believer in the mantra, consistency is king. Give it up for the real Tiger King, Scott French.
Woo!
Hey, welcome.
Man.
What's up, guys? How are you?
How's it going?
Doing
How's
well.
everybody
Yourself?
doing?
I didn't have
Good.
Tiger
Doing
French.
really
so I've
good.
gone-
Thank you.
Oh, a little leopard.
I went
the
big
leopard
cat.
print.
Yeah, just
I've got a
I
leopard
want to
right
welcome
here,
you.
too,
I
bro.
don't,
Check this out.
I don't know if you have a water or a juice or a Guinness or whatever, but I'm going to welcome you with a cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
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 Well, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I have something here that my brother Travis said, "Hey, Scott, be prepared, bro." So, got me a nice,
excellent.
Nice.
and I'm gonna drink it in one of these awesome. Can you see this product placement right here?
Oh, boy.
What is that? A
Oh, we
picture?
never
I
do
used
that
to
on
have
this
one of those,
show.
but everything I put in it tastes like shit. So I had to get rid of mine.
Don't waste that beer in there.
All right. So
You got
this is
that
going-
special one.
So let me tell you right now, I've only put protein shakes in here prior to this. So this is the first time I'm putting a Guinness in there.
Oh, right on.
And
It's almost
I
the
also
same.
refer to this as an Irish protein shake. It's an Irish protein shake.
It's
Yeah.
got iron in it. I'm telling you, it's got iron in it. Let it
Yeah.
settle.
Definitely
Let it
does.
settle.
Welcome.
Well, that's awesome, man. Scott, it's
Cheers.
really cool to
All right.
have you. Like, I'm sure most of the people in the community know about you. Have seen things you've done or things that you do. And we'll get further into what you provide to the community, obviously. But for those that don't know much about you, you want to give us your whole rundown, how you even started into this crazy thing called DDP yoga?
Sure, absolutely. So in 2018 is when I discovered DDPY. I had been going to the VA clinics for treatment for bad back, blown knees, blown ankle, just injuries from the military. And throughout life, they progressively got worse and everything. So I found myself I had retired actually back in like 2010, 2011, when I was like 50. And so I retired a little early, but I didn't have a plan. So I wound up actually re-injuring some injuries I had with my knee. And it really set me back, sent me into a depression and sent me into a spiral and everything. And then a few years later, we moved here to Phoenix, and I could barely move. I was not taking care of myself. I had injured my knee for the 3rd time. And I was I had surgery on that knee before, and then they gave me the option of having another surgery or going through just physical rehab, which I chose to do. And so then I got here and, I just wasn't moving enough. I was depressed and it was hot as hell here in Phoenix. And I wound up getting in a motorcycle accident. I broke 4 ribs and I was in that chair, too long on medication, pain medication, and I gained a bunch of weight. And I started going to the VA clinic for free, for my free medical that I supposedly earned in the military. But anyway, so I go down there and they started treating me for the injuries and everything. And they put me in their rehab program 4 hours a week where you would go and work out, exercise, counseling, all kinds of stuff. That was where they had diagnosed me just a couple of years ago with depression and anxiety and all of that, as well as the physical injuries. So there I was in So I found myself there in 2018. I had left the VA hospital. President Trump had signed in VA choice. So I had gone down to the VA hospital to get to see my doctor, and I couldn't see my doctor. I couldn't get x-rays. I couldn't get MRIs. I couldn't get shit. So anyway, so choice came out. And so my wife had she dragged me down there one time to the emergency room because of I had a bad sciatic attack with my back. turned out I had 5 blown discs in my back, my entire lumbar. Yeah. So she's like, you're never fucking going back there again. She had never been there with me before. And she was like, you're not going back there again. So she dragged me out of there, and I used VA choice because I went to go see my doctor. I never saw a doctor even when I went to the emergency room. And so anyway, she took me out of there, and then I went to the real world doctors, and I started seeing doctors for my back. And during that time, so it was September 7th, 2018. I found myself sitting in that chair. I was broken. I was depressed. I was going to the VA clinic all the time, 4 hours a week. And September 7th, 2018 was when I had my aha moment. I had degraded to walking at times with a walking cane, which I never let anybody see me do because I was so freaking embarrassed. Anyway, I tossed my walking cane across the room. Something inside of me said, that's it. You've got to fight for your fucking life. And I got on my phone and I looked on Google Maps and I found a gym that had a swimming pool in there. And I swam my ass off every fucking day for a month, from September 7th, 2018 till October 15th of 2018 when I found DDPY. The Arthur Borman video. I saw the Arthur Borman video, and then I had a friend who was doing DDPY, and he was like, dude, you should give it a shot. So I went back and looked at the Arthur Borman video again, and I was like, well, if this guy could do it, I could do it, right? So, I was like, well, fuck, what am I going to do? Am I just going to roll over and die? Because apparently, when you give up, when people give up on life or whatever, when they just give up, I don't believe it's like an instantaneous decision. I think it's a decision that's gradual over time. And
it's a slow crawl to rock
I found
bottom.
myself in that situation. Okay, so September 7th, I started swimming every month. That was my aha moment, September 7th. It was the day when I realized that I absolutely had to do something with my life because I was going nowhere fast with my health. So anyway, then my friend had reminded me about DDPY and the Arthur video. So I went back and I watched it on Rogan. And I was like, if this guy can do it, so can I, man. Especially because he was Airborne Ranger, and I got hurt in Airborne school. I was supposed to go to Airborne Ranger school, but I got hurt. I got injured, and they sent me to a leg unit because you're not airborne. So anyway, then I found DDPY October 15th of 2018. So today is October 11th. That means here in a few more days here now, I'll be hitting my 2-year DDPY anniversary, awesome. It's been a crazy 2 years, man. So I find DDPY October 15th, and I had just gone to the real world doctors, and I just got the appointment. I went to a real world doctor, and they gave me some pain meds, and they sent me to another doctor. So I go to another doctor, and they order all the MRIs and all the imaging and the x-rays, and they wanted to take a look at, exactly what's going on. So my last imaging on my back had been years before, and I knew I had one blown disc. So I was like, oh yeah, I know I got one, and the doctor looks at me after, he's looking at the imaging, and he's like, Scott, he's like, your entire lumbar is damaged and blown to the point where you probably need to have your spinal fusion surgery, have your spine fused together. And I practically threw up in my throat, man, right in my mouth. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's half a life from that point, just from mobility standpoint.
Oh my God. And dude, right after that, he's like, here's the images for your knee. Right after we fuse your spine, we're going to replace your knee. And, I was 57 years old. I had just turned, and I was, I had a very physical life, active life, taught martial arts most of my life, and, very active. And, the fact that I spent the last few years sitting in that chair and I degraded to that point, and he told me that, you're going to have your back fused and your knee replaced was, so that was my motivation right there, fellas. I tell you right now, I was scared to death, to be honest with you. Fear was a huge motivating factor for me.
It can be. Easy.
Yeah. Fear. Well, shit, dude, man. I mean, I pictured myself in a wheelchair. My wife is 11 years younger than me. I pictured her pushing this old gray-haired, old broken old dude, and I'm like, I'm not owning it. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not doing everything that I know that I can do to take care of me. So I got really fucking pissed off at myself, to be honest with you. And I had that fight or flight instinct kicked in that September 7th. And so when a month later, when I found DDPY, I was already full on, I channeled the spirit of the tiger. I'm all, in martial arts, I studied 5 different animal systems or 5 animal system. And so these last 2 years, I'm just like, I'm going to attack this like just fierce. So, and that's when I just attacked it like crazy. So from October to December, I did the DVDs, and I joined the DDPY Facebook pages and stuff like that. And I soon realized that the app was where it's at. So in December of 2018, 2 months later, I got the app, and I started the beginner program all over again, because to me, all I cared about was when I saw the doctor in October of 2018, he goes, I'm going to give you 3 months. I said, Doc, what can I do to avoid the surgery? Is there anything I can do? I said, I will eat the bark off that tree and eat the gravel out of that fucking parking lot every goddamn day if I have to, if it means avoiding this goddamn surgery.
Right.
Does vegan allow you to avoid surgery?
Dude, I was fucking, I was so goddamn scared to death, man. I would do anything. So I'll give you 3 months. I'll see you back in January. The first thing we're going to do is hook you up with 3 spinal epidurals. So, and they spread them out 3 weeks apart for some reason. Doc Tom probably knows why, but anyway, so every 3 weeks from October to January, every 3 weeks during the holidays, now I'm going in for a spinal epidural to get out of pain. So they started working, and the pain started subsiding. In the meantime, I'm doing energy and fat burner and freaking like a son of a bitch, man. I was hitting those DVDs, and I got the app in December, and I had my appointment on January 7th of 2019 with my doc to get new images to see if, in the meantime, I lost like fucking over 30 pounds. I was overweight, of course, but not like super massively, but enough, I guess. But the main thing was he explained it to me. He goes, if you can tighten your core to give yourself internal bracing to support your lumbar from the inside out virtually, right? To support your lumbar with a tighter core. And if you lose some weight and tighten up, you might be able to avoid the surgery. In the meantime, we'll do the 3 epidurals. So January 7th, I go back. I had gone in a couple of days earlier, got all, did all the imaging. I go back on the 7th, and he's got it. And he looks at me, and he looks at the imaging, and he looks at me, and he looks at he goes, he's unfucking believable. The doctor was like, he couldn't believe it. And he saw me lose all that weight, which was just a byproduct. I didn't care about the weight.
Right. We always say it's a side effect. It's a side effect.
It's a side effect.
Dude, man, I just wanted to be up there. Yeah. So anyway, so he was like unreal. He goes, okay, so, how you doing? I'm like, well, the pain has subsided quite a bit, and I've got range of motion back. I was making progress, I think, faster probably than the average person, because in the past I had a physical background, working out all the time in martial arts and all that. But so I really think that allowed me to rebound so quickly with my
Discipline.
back.
You're I mean, with a military background and the martial arts background, I'm sure you're having a regimen really helps and keeps you on track to go from sitting in a chair and sedentary. Right.
Definitely, Ryan. Definitely. I channeled that again, because I had gotten away from it. When you retire, if you retire early, like I retired early at like 49, 50 years old, and I didn't have a game plan. I thought, well, I got money in my pocket. I'm doing good. I sold my businesses. I'm just going to ride my motorcycle and do happy hour every day. And that was unfulfilling. And I was working out, and jogging, and I was running this hill behind our house up in the mountains there up in Reno. And I was coming down. It was a pretty steep grade, and it was gravelly. And when you get to the point where you're going down, you either have to run through it or you're going to fall back and tumble down. So I wound up striding too fast and with a bad knee, and I hit that gravel, and that was when I torched my knee. But anyway, so then, so the doc, coming back to January of 2018, the doctor saw that, my back was, I was making progress with my back, and I wasn't going to do the surgery for my back. He said, well, let's talk about your knee. And I said, fuck that. I don't want a new knee. They were going to cut it out and bolt in a new knee, and I didn't want to do that. I was afraid of it. And so the doctor who did my epidurals on my back also does stem cell therapy. So he was like, do you want other options besides knee replacement? I'm like, hell yeah, I want other options. So he's like, let's try stem cells. It's expensive. But at that point I was like, I'll do that. So I went ahead and I did the initial 3 or 4 rounds, and then I went back for another 2. So I think I've done a total of like 6 rounds over the course of like a year and a half of stem cell therapy injections in my knee. Now, it worked really well on my knee. It worked really good. My knee responded to it very well. I have not had to, thank God, go through that knee replacement surgery. But I also I changed my behavior. So the doc was like, obviously you're going to have to eliminate impact sports, no more running, jogging, walk. I used to walk with my wife all the time. We go up. One of the reason why she brought me to the emergency room that day was because we were on a 3-mile walk, our normal walk, and I'm in that military mindset, suck it up, take some aspirin, drink some water, and just, march it off, soldier. Yep. Yeah, suck it up. So we were on a 3-mile walk or whatever, and I was about a mile back away from the house, and my knee and my sciatic I dropped right to my knee from the sciatic pain. And I tried to play it off like I was tying my shoe because I was embarrassed. I was with my wife, and I was like, fuck. So I tried to act like I'm tying my shoe, and she's like, I'm down there for a while, and she's like, are you okay? I was like, Amy, I can't get up.
Tying shoes are a bitch.
You almost
one tough knot.
Oh shit! That was when she took me to the emergency room at the VA hospital, and that was when I didn't even get to see a doctor. They sent me home with Bengay patches and some aspirin. That was it. And she's like, "You're never fucking going back there again." So I haven't been back there since.
Well, that's awesome. So I mean, obviously, I know you've avoided 2 surgeries, and
Hold on.
and
3.
Yeah,
3
because
surgeries.
what happened was in January, after they looked at my shoulder, after they looked at my back, and then they were going to look at my knee. So I started doing stem cell injections, and then I was doing. I was watching Ben Carson was doing all these 10-second push-ups back then, 2019. Remember that? So Ben Carson, buddy of mine, and he's banging out these push-ups, and I'm like, well, fuck, my legs are, my back and my knees messed up, but I can do push-ups. So I started banging out push-ups, and I don't know if do you remember that video where I was in my garage and
you were doing an upside-down push-up, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Inverted against the wall.
Yeah, I'll send you those videos if you want. I was too enthusiastic. It was a combination of enthusiasm and ego or whatever the fuck it was. My friend is a 7th degree black belt. I'm a 3rd. So he came to stay with me, and I'm like, come on, man, let's go in the garage. And I'm going to do these wall push-ups. So I did, and I did it. I recorded it, and I wound up tearing my shoulder. I tore my rotator cuff. So here I was. I just got over my back. Well, not got over. I'm still trying to avoid surgery for the back and for the knee. And I go back. I'm like, Doc, I think I hurt my shoulder. He's like, he's like, stop it.
Take up knitting or something, dumbass.
He's like, Doc. He's like, stop it. What are you doing? And I'm
See
like,
that ego? Put it at the door.
Yeah, I was just so fired up to have my life back again too,
Cool.
But yeah, I shouldn't have been doing that, and I pushed it too hard, and so I tore my shoulder. But it was a bunch of micro tears to where he said it didn't require surgery. So we did stem cell injections, and they didn't really work that much on my shoulder like they did on my knee. But so like still to this day, like I don't even do 5 count. Like if I do a 5 count, I won't do it fully. Like I'll lower down to the ground.
Do a hover.
Because like the last thing I can afford to do is blow out that shoulder and my knee and my back.
Mm-hmm.
So for me,
listen to your body, right? Listen to that body.
Check my shit at the door, bro. I mean, fuck. So anyway, so that's where I've been. That's where I've been since then. Since I guess the middle of last year. Just came out of the stem cell therapies for the shoulder, the knee. I went and got license plates for my truck that have that wheelchair on it and shit. So I take as few steps a day as possible. I don't run. I don't jump. I don't do ballistic, impact shit anymore. Like I used to punch and kick all kinds of shit in karate, man. Be breaking boards and bricks and skulls and fucking rocks. I didn't give a goddamn. But,
Dude, follow my example. I'm getting into Tai Chi now.
Total opposite.
Well, the VA got me into that Tai Chi, and I'm a really fast twitch, kind of a punch kind of guy. And I
explosive power, yeah.
Tai Chi, and I was like, dude, man, can we bang that drum a little faster?
But now through this 2 years, obviously, getting ready you're about to hit it. By the time this airs, you will surpass your 2 years. You've sought out certification as well, yeah? That's right. I was just going to say that. So there's a couple of stories within that story. Yeah, but, I want you to talk about what inspired you to certification, how you achieved it, because I know you achieved it a slightly different way than a lot of people because you have a pretty ingrained group that you were working with regularly.
Right.
So
that's right. So what happened was when the doctor diagnosed me and said you're a candidate for spinal fusion surgery and knee replacement surgery, and when he gave me 3 months to reevaluate whether I was going to get that spinal fusion surgery or not, during those 3 months, like I said, I was really scared and terrified about that surgery and about having my back welded together or whatever the hell. So, I just, I'm not a real religious or spiritual person, but I became spiritual real quick. I looked at the heavens and said, God, if I could avoid these surgeries, man, I will do whatever I can. I will pay it forward to other veterans because I belong to the American Legion and I have a lot of friends that are, military veterans and whatnot. So I said, I will pay it forward to them for free. Any veteran who is willing to, to take a class with me, to this day, I don't charge veterans a dime. Awesome. So I said if I can avoid these surgeries.
Completely in line with Dallas's heart for all this as well, isn't it? So, like he was always people would be their bodies up for a living, and veterans, that was always his thing.
Before COVID, you were actually teaching at the Legion, right?
Yeah, so correct. So anyway, so when I got so in March when it turned out that I avoided in March of 2019 when I avoided the back surgery and the knee surgery, I said that's it. I'm gonna sign up. So I signed up for the DDPY certification because to me at that point I had already I'm like I'm there, so I just got to get certified and I want to share this with other people. And so, so I signed up for the DDPY certification program. And that's where another story kind of takes off. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it any goddamn way. We
can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Now, right? You made me wait for a fucking half an hour, so I'm going to fucking make you listen to the story. So I signed up for the DDPY certification and I heard nothing for 3 months. Nothing. I heard not a goddamn thing. And I was pissed because now I'm pumped. I'm on a roll. I've been doing DDPY now for probably like 5-6 months or whatever, 5 months or whatever. And I'm like, that's it. Cause like when I set my mind to do something, man, it's, full throttle, full steam ahead. But I heard nothing, man. Crickets, echo. I had gotten the invitation, I think, to go into the, what's that? The first forum you get to go into in your program
forum. Yep.
Right. And somebody put out a comment. I think it was Hayden. And I didn't know who Hayden was. I didn't know who anybody was. And all I knew was I was pissed. And so Hayden said something about it. I'm like, I'm not fucking impressed at all with this damn DDPY program.
Oh boy.
Not the only one.
I was impressed with the program, but I wasn't impressed with the certification program. And instantly Hayden contacts me and he's like, dude, what happened? And I told him, I said, 3 months have gone by. I haven't heard anything. And I dropped like $400. What's going on here? And he apologized profusely. Now, I had no clue what was going on with Hayden and with Laura.
Yeah, so you did it right at March, and that was...
That's right. And I stepped
right
right into
end.
it. And after I was thoroughly fucking pissed off at him, then I go into the pages and I'm like, oh, fuck. I find out what's going on with him and Laura and everything. And I felt like a piece of shit, man. I felt horrible. So I didn't bother him at all while he was going through that at all. So I was already felt like, oh man, So anyway, then I reached out to a few people and was like, hey guys, I'm in the certification program. Can you be my unofficial mentor? Because Hayden, God bless his soul, man. I love him, man. He's like, he reached out to me and he's like, Scott, I am so sorry. I apologize. It's on me. It's my fault. No excuses. He goes, I will be your mentor. I am taking you on. I will be your mentor. And I was like, oh, good, because you're going to have a fucking tiger on your hands. I thought, I didn't say that to him. I was fired up. And that's when I found out after he offered to be my mentor is when I started looking him up. I'm like, well, who the hell is he? And then I saw what he was going through. And that was when it totally just, so anyway, so I asked a few people to be, if they could be unofficially my mentor. So officially to this day, Hayden is still my mentor and we get along just fine. We don't talk near as much as like we do, but so anyway, so I started working with several different people on that, which leads me to my third story within a story. I got to clear something up now. Okay, so one of my mentors that I asked to help teach me was Heather Berkowitz. Heather, God bless her.
Slayer.
I love Slayer, man. Well, one of the reasons... So Slayer,
Coach Slayer, come on!
Coach Slayer, man! One of the reasons I connected with her from the very beginning was, well, first of all, she's always offering help to everybody in the program. Yeah. So then I saw, we had communicated, whatever. Then I saw that she was an L1 instructor at the time. And the name of her business is Namaste, the Namaslayer. When I was in the Army 2nd Infantry Division, I was in a unit called the Dragon Slayers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sounds cool as shit, right? We were the Dragon Slayers. You got 7 seconds life expectancy in combat, but you're a Dragon Slayer. Oh, cool.
The T-shirts were great.
Oh, fuck, right? So anyway, so that, I was like, that caught my attention. She's the Namaslayer or whatever. So we connected and she started working with me. So as you guys know, or Travis knows, I get nervous even doing any live video. So having me on here today, dude, I'm telling you right now, is just a milestone compared to where I used to be. Like I never.
Are you wearing your heart rate monitor? Should we?
Yeah, right.
Are you stoned?
Workout.
So that was, I swear to God, like guys, they diagnosed me with anxiety when I was like 57 years old. So just a couple of years ago, so for me, it's real to be in front of a camera doing this. This isn't as bad, but to get up and lead a class and stuff like that, to do your videos and send them in. Yeah. But like Ryan had said, I had started teaching DDPY practice classes the minute I signed up. Not the minute I signed up. I started teaching them a few months later. So I had been teaching DDPY practice classes, but I had like 6, 8, 10, 12 people in my classes since the day I started teaching. And I started teaching 4 days a week. And, up until COVID hit. And yes, to answer your question, I did get my certification in July of this year. But anyway, yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks, man. I got my certification during COVID. But I want to bring it back to Heather real quick because she's not getting off the hook on this shit, man. I'm going to call her out right now. So a couple of days ago, or about a week ago, on the DDP Yoga page, it was Coach's Day. And so I got on there and I was like, I want to shout out to Heather Berkowitz. She was my coach, helped me get through L1 certification. And she comes back, and now this is the second time she's done this. She's like, you were grumpy, but I love you anyway. And I'm like, oh, bitch. I was like, now I'm going to tell you why I was grumpy. I'm going to set the story straight right here, right now on BTTR. Are you ready?
We get all the exclusives here. We get the good.
All right. This is the good juicy shit right here, man.
The dirt.
Okay. So Heather, if you're watching, girl, you're gonna own it. You're gonna own it right now. Okay.
Oh,
so
she better be.
She better be.
Better be.
So I'm telling my crew, and we've been working out for months together. I'm like, I gotta send in a fucking video of me teaching you guys a class to get my certification. They're like, well, do it. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. That shit makes me freaking like nervous. And for months, they're like, Frenchie, do it, man, do it. I'm like, finally, okay. So I recorded one of the classes, and I said, guys, here's what we'll do. Is we'll just do a practice class. We'll have some fun. I'll send it to her, and I'll tell her, don't review it. Don't grade it. I just want to do an introductory video to introduce myself and my style to you or whatever as my coach. She got a hold of that video, and she tore that motherfucker up one side and down the goddamn other. She put, at 3 minutes and 13 seconds, your finger was pointing the wrong fucking direction.
Amazing.
So
Drill sergeant.
Hell yeah, I was grumpy at her. I was like, fucking months went by before I even talked to her again. So I literally delayed my certification training for like 4 fucking months because I was like, fuck that shit, man. I don't need a goddamn piece of paper. I got a class in front of me now. I'll fucking teach them now.
Yeah, so there's a few of us like that.
You know, it's funny. The very first time I went with a video, I sent it to Aaron and to Tom, and they both send me back notes. And Tom's were, you know, you do this, you did this right, work on this kind of thing, adjust this. Aaron's were like 4 pages, every cue, and he's like, do this, you missed this,
Exactly.
you missed this. Well, and it's 4 pages of notes, and he goes, so that's the first 15 minutes.
Wow.
Apparently he went to Heather's school, or they like trained
Yeah,
it was.
no shit. Well, but then I realized his mentor was Stephen David, so of course he's going to be like right to a T, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, yeah. So he's like, so did you read those? I'm like, yeah, I don't want any more. I'll just expand what you've done for these first 15 minutes to the rest of the 45. We'll just call it good, my dude. Don't waste your time. We're going back to square one. So I feel you there. Feel you there.
Yeah, it's like everyone spends months going, I need a mentor. I want a mentor. Why haven't I got a mentor? It's like, oh, fuck my mentor. Jeez.
Jerry Lowe was also one of my mentors, and he was great.
Good guy.
He's a good guy.
Absolutely.
He's old school. I mean, he's one of the original old school guys with, I think he was with YRG or.
He was YRG, yep.
Yeah. You know, and he of course works with an elderly crowd teaching chair yoga. And I think he was actually given permission by Yoga Doc and by DDP himself to actually teach it and stuff. But anyway, he was instrumental. Aaron, Marcel Doré, through Travis, you know, and all you guys, we've all compared notes at one point or another, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So let's get into
I just want to give a quick little thing. If you guys are out there and if you're in the instructors or if you're getting the certification program, if you are scared to submit a video, the best thing to do is set up the camera, do your class, just don't hit play. Just get used to the idea of you doing stuff in front of a camera. And then just one day, just hit that play button. You'll just get used to the idea because the hardest thing is to be criticized. We all are more critical of ourselves, unless Heather's involved. But we're all more critical of ourselves than our instructor will be, right? So the best advice is just get used to being in front of a camera and just have fun with it. I mean, it's something that once you do it, and Scott, you'll test this. You're on video all the time now, and you're so good at it, and you're so charismatic. But
exactly, I agree. I recommend recording early on. I started recording my 10th class.
Yeah,
just for myself, and just started recording. Yeah,
you can run it every week. You don't have to watch it, but run it.
Right.
You never know.
Exactly.
You might get a good one. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, don't be afraid to fuck up because you're teaching a program where they officially released DVDs with workouts where the main creator forgot phases. He forgets half of the phase. He'll miss a side, and it happens.
Yeah.
It really does happen. And you are going to say drop your left, scrape your right, and you mean it the other way. It'll happen. It's okay.
Every class. Every class.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Followed up with, I'm not a robot.
And just remember, if you don't want to screw up the second call, just say, now opposite side.
Opposite
There you
side.
go, man. I love that. Now the other side.
Quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Of course,
yeah,
like,
you're right.
Or the other thing is, if you're worried about making those mistakes, what you could also do is get yourself a Lavinia. And before you've got chance to correct the fact that you called the wrong side, you mean right? Yes.
If anybody out there needs to rent Lavinia, just reach out at hitthematpodcast.com.
Now, she is British Standard Time, so you need to account for a 5 to 8 hour difference. But
Correct.
Well, you know, while we were striving for our certification there, I had the pleasure of one of my travels pre-COVID, right on the cusp of COVID. I was traveling to Colorado to go see a friend of mine, and I was talking to Scott for probably, 6, 7, 8 months, and we become pretty good friends. And traveling to Colorado is quite a long trip, so I was looking at different ways, and there was an overnight in Phoenix, and instead of getting to Colorado at 10 or 11 at night, I figured, well, why not stay in Phoenix and meet this guy, Scott French? So I said, let's do this. He said, heck yeah, why not? And Scott met me at 5:30 in the morning at the hotel, and we did an awesome class. He ran a class for me, and I mean, it was pretty cool.
It was awesome, man. It was really cool. So it was funny because you messaged me, and I told my wife, I said, that guy Travis Mahaffey's coming in town and wants to work. He's going to do an overnight. He just stayed one day here in town. Wants to work out with me. She's like, really? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but it's got to be like at 5 o'clock in the morning. She's like, you gonna get up and do that? I'm like,
yeah, he's crazy.
I'm awake at that time any damn way.
No, he's not kind of crazy.
Yeah, to compare that, Scott, he was just up in Chicago, 3 months ago? And Chicago is an hour drive from me. And he goes, hey, you want to meet me at the Beam on Saturday morning for wakey stretchy? I said, no. And he goes, it's not that far, is it? I'm like, no. He goes, so you want to meet me? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Because it's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'm not waking up at 4:30 dealing with Chicago traffic to work out with your ass. I'll tune in on video.
Well, here's the deal with that. There was zero Chicago traffic, but it's a good thing you didn't come because we were jumping fences and weren't supposed to be around the beans. So it's a good thing you didn't come.
Yeah, he's Travis.
So, but
definitely
Travis,
a busy
you
guy,
truly
man.
are. Yeah, you're the fucking Johnny Appleseed of DDP yoga, man. You're just all over the damn country.
Man, I'm telling you what, if I'm going to be in a town and if I can meet somebody, I'm going to do it.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
He is infecting this country state by state.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome,
It's
man.
actually,
Because
the infection is not COVID; it's Travis's Shamrock Nation.
It is. There's not a vaccine for this nonsense yet.
No mask can save you from the Shamrock Shake.
Nope.
the Irish protein shake works.
There it is. So Scott, obviously, people know you from your posts. People know you from the tiger images on Facebook, Instagram, and everything else. But I think one thing that probably most people know you from in the community are your challenge coins. How did that come about? What was it? There you go. Travis got one right there.
Yeah, my boy right there. That's my boy right there. I made that one for you, bro.
Oh yeah.
So how did that even come about? I know you tell the story a little bit on every post, but like what in your head said, hey, let's bring this to this community?
So like I told you, one of my mentors was Jerry Lowe out in New Jersey. So last year, I guess it was around March or April or something like that. I don't know when it was, March or April. He contacts me, and I had been going through stem cell therapy on my knee. He saw me posting, that it's a little. It's not a little expensive; it's a lot of expensive. And so he was connected. He's connected with a charity group out there that does little fundraisers and stuff for people, and he tries to focus on veterans and stuff as well. So he got with her, and they put on a DDPY workout event out in New Jersey, and they were going to raise some money for me to donate towards my stem cell therapy. So I told my wife, I was like, if they're doing an event for me out there, I'm getting my ass on a goddamn plane and going out there to be part of it. You know, it cost me more to go out there, but you know what? Shit, man. I mean, for anybody to do that for you. So, you know, I was like, Amy, we hopped on a plane and we flew out to New Jersey from Phoenix. And let's see, Bruce Nelson came down. We had Michael Cavaccini came down. Debbie Gaito came down. Jeremy Callie came down. I mean, I'm missing names.
Huge names. That's awesome.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of people. I was surprised. I mean, and so we had a workout in one of the local rec centers. Got to work out with these people, spend the weekend with them. Michael Cavaccini, he had recently ran into Dallas again and got a book of Positively Unstoppable. And got Dallas to sign it for me, and I have an autographed copy of it. So Michael gave me that when I was there, and that was
Michael's a great guy.
He, you know, I'm so blessed and so lucky to have so many wonderful people in my life, including you know all you guys in the DDPY community. You know, when I found this place, I was truly in a state where I moved to a new state, literally. And didn't have any friends, didn't know anybody. I was broken, just been in a motorcycle accident, blah, 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 blah. The whole pity party story, you know, but, you know, I was in it, you know, and I bought into that fucking pity party. And I tell you what, it's a real deal. When you buy into your own fucking pity party, man, it will suck you down so fast and you do it to yourself. And when I realized I was in that fucking pity party is when I said, bullshit, stop that. And I refused to go back to it.
Which is not only transforms your page, you transfer. I don't mean to jump subjects, but you transformed your challenge page from your 15-day challenge to Tiger Battalion, which was basically a kind of a no pity party group, right?
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for getting me back on track, man. I was kind of,
back on track.
Right.
Going in the jar. So I started making. So anyway, I went out there for that event out to New Jersey, and when I came back, I was really appreciative, and I wanted to do something. This goes back to the challenge coins. So I was really appreciative to Jerry Lowe. Jake Order was down there. So Jake Order and Jerry Lowe and myself kind of connected like a few months right after I started doing DDPY. So the three of us just started, you know, just chatting. We have till this day, we got like a little, three of us have a little chat group, and we just, you know, every morning, good morning, how you doing, bro? What's going on? So
Jake let me interrupt you real quick. Jake is the fucking real deal. Yeah. Quality human being, super nice, just very, very kind. Every single episode we drop, he sends me a comment personally, also comments publicly. He is just a really, really caring person. Right. He's also a very thankful person. Like he lets you know if you do something for him. Like he's so appreciative of it all. And I will tell you, the minute that he found out we were doing this, he said, "So you're gonna have Scott on? When are you having Scott on? Is Scott gonna be on?" He was tooting your horn like nonstop. He wanted you on so bad. So. And I still don't. So don't tell him. Don't tell him you're coming on because I just want to drop it for him.
Okay. Yeah, Jake's an amazing human being. He is so dedicated towards veterans causes. He does amazing things for veterans causes, and he sent me a challenge coin. He sent me some stuff when we first got together. So that's what kind of inspired me because, like, when I don't know if you like So in the military, challenge coins is a big tradition, a big culture. It's a big thing. And so when I went out to New Jersey for that thing they did for me, I came back and I was like, I want to do something nice for these guys. And, you know, I'm a wood burner, but I usually do like all these plaques and things like that back there. And I had never done, you know, those small coin, like they call them micro burns. So I had for some reason I picked up a bunch of those wooden discs a long time ago, and I had them, and I had thought I was going to make some shit out of them, and I never did. So it dawned on me after I came back last year from New Jersey from doing that workout with those guys. I was like, I wanted to make something nice for them, and I was sitting there. You know, Jake had sent me a challenge coin, And, and then I remembered, I was like, it just kind of dawned on me. I'm like, well, shit, man, I wonder if I can burn something that small and make a DDPY related challenge coin. Like, I think I can put a diamond in that coin. So then I started adding Swarovski crystals and stones and shit like that. And so I made a couple of them, and I sent them out to those guys just out of appreciation. And they started wearing them, and they really liked them. And then from there, it just kind of took off. People saw them, and like, oh, how much? And I'm like, I don't even know. Kat Arnett, she bought.
Took off. I don't mean to interrupt you, Scott, but took off is an understatement. That shit fucking exploded, but go ahead, continue.
Kat Arnett bought a bunch of them from me. She bought like the first 3 or 4 I made. She was like, and I was like, Kat, how much should I sell these for? People want to buy them. I don't even know how much they go. She was like, sell them for like $40. I'm like, all right. So I sold them. I sold them for $40 and then, plus shipping or whatever. So finally I said 45, and that includes shipping. It made it a whole lot easier. So anyway, so I started doing the challenge coins, and people really dug it, man. And people were really into it. And I was doing it in my garage here in Phoenix. And then this summer hit, and COVID hit. So first COVID hit, and my classes were canceled over there at the American Legion, obviously. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, man. So I'm in my garage, and I'm burning. And now the summer's coming, and it's like 115 degrees. 118 degrees. I'm out there in the morning, and you wake up, it's 90 fucking degrees out here, man. Yeah. So I wake up, it's 90 degrees.
That's like 85 outside. Celsius, Boz.
Oh, I know.
Is that? It's like,
I don't know what it is.
It's the seventh ring of hell.
Yeah, normal working temperature for me, but carry on.
So I wound up making, I think I probably made, I'm guessing like just under 200, maybe 100, between 150 and 175 or so, 100, 200 challenge coins.
Wow.
Yeah, I shipped them. It really was amazing, because now all of a sudden people had seen, like, they started seeing my story, on Facebook. I overcame my injuries. They saw, some of the physical transformation I made or whatever. But I think the biggest thing they saw was my determination and the fact that I just won't quit. And so people kind of gravitated towards that type of energy, because, that's that persistence and that kind of energy that it takes. And so anyway, so people wanted the coins, and they liked the way they looked, and it inspired them. And it gave me, like, I had a purpose again. I was like, instead of just taking care of me and my injuries every day, I can go out there and start making shit again. So I started making challenge coins, and people started just requesting them, and I was making them, selling them as fast as I could make them. And then, like I said, COVID hit. My classes shut down. I'm in the garage. It's hot. I'm wood burning, and I just couldn't take the heat anymore. My guys they donated enough for me to get one of those portable evaporative coolers, but they don't really work that much. It works for a little bit, but when it's 115 and you're outside, it's just too hot. Yeah. So anyway, so then I started losing, and then I started kind of getting a little bummed out, man. It's like I told everybody, I'm not going to make any, I'm not going to make any coins for a while. It's too damn hot. I need to move my shop inside, which is different. When you're wood burning, you got to have ventilation and all that shit. So anyway, so then I moved everything inside, or, I came inside and I shut it down. I told people I'm putting the contest on hold. So just briefly, for people who didn't know, I had the challenge coin page where I challenged people. So when COVID first hit, and they locked everybody down, they canceled, all the gyms closed and everything. People started getting really high anxiety. It was the end of March, and I went into my garage, and I saw that I had 25 challenge coins that had the magnets on the back. When I first started making them, they were magnet backs where you could like clip them on clothing or whatever.
Like a lapel.
Yeah. And so I was like, I wanted to do something to help everybody, because I could immediately start seeing, signs of depression and anxiety. And because I had gone through that, and because I still suffer from it as well, I can pick up on it instantly when I encounter it. And so I just wanted to do what I could to help people in general, just to avoid depression and anxiety, and to hit the fucking mat, because when you hit the mat, it helps with that. Right?
I'm proud.
Right?
We love it. We love it.
And we're gonna come back down to that conversation on depression and anxiety and DDPY after this. But So I had 25. I said, guys, if you do 15 days of DDPY in a month or whatever, if you do 15 days, or was it 15 days straight? I think it was. Then in a calendar month,
2 a month and 15 out.
That's what it was. And then I would do a drawing. Everybody who does it, everybody gets their name in the hat, and I pull the name out of the hat, and I was donating coins. So that really took off because it really helped to lift people up and inspired people and everything that we wanted to achieve. So then I started running out of the coins, ran out of coins. So I'm now I'm making coins. I'm going to work and then people just started placing orders and like, can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, and they really pushed me, beyond, what I thought I could do as an artist, people's requests and my desire to help forced me out of my comfort zone. And I started doing it. So, I made about 200, then it got really freaking hot. And then I put the page on hold. And a couple of months went by, and I was like, man, I started to get kind of depressed because I didn't want it to die on the vine. I didn't want the page to just die like that. And people are out there, they're wanting to do something. People want to be motivated. People want to be inspired. One thing I learned in the military and in martial arts is people want to be led. There are leaders and there are people that just want to be led. They want to belong to something bigger than themselves,
Always.
And it's human nature. We want to belong to something bigger. So anyway, I said, I'm not going to let the page, I had 300 people on there. I'm not going to let them just die like that. So I said, okay, I'm not going to be out there making challenge coins. So let's take the same concept, keep them on the mat, but give them recognition and inspiration and motivation just by recognition. If you, like in business, it's not always the paycheck that motivates and inspires people. Sometimes it's just recognition for the hard work and for what they're doing. They want to be seen. So basically that's, when I put together this page, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use my military background and, you can earn rank, you can earn, jungle expert patches and Pathfinder patches with tigers and things on them and shit, and, getting people to push themselves. And so today, as a matter of fact, I started the competition for October a little bit early. I started it on the 27th of last month, and you have through October to do it. So today, being the 11th, some people are hitting their 15 days today. And so like on that page that I have going, a lot of people are earning their patches today and stuff like that. So that's where we're at with that.
Very cool.
People love achievements, man.
To talk about the reach of these challenge coins, obviously living here passing our level 2 this week. We were really lucky last night to go out to dinner with, we know Naren Flanders came over and our friend Judith as well. And they're she'll talk about it another time, but just got my headphone off.
Easy, boss.
Yeah, excited, flappy hands. So, they're a little crew basically, and they allowed me to tag along like a spare wastrel. And we went out for dinner just over the road here, and I have got a picture of them. I'm going to put it up. It's not on the device, so I can't drop it in. But in post, I'm going to put this picture up. Of a bunch of flowers that they very kindly bought Lavinia for passing her L2, and they're all sporting these challenge coins.
Nice.
Here in the UK. So that shows you the reach of them. And I was so
honored to be asked to make them for them. Talk about reach, man. I tell you what, I've shipped them. Check this out. So it took off those challenge coins. I've shipped a ton to Canada. I should say a ton, but the most of them to Canada, England, of course, Scotland, the the Canary Islands of Spain, Australia. I mean, it's blew my mind when I go to the post office and they're like, "Where are you mailing to this time?" I'm like, "I know this is getting crazy, man. I'm shipping these things to Spain."
Yeah,
I'm going Norway. I know who that was.
I've had you send 2 of them to people, and the minute that they get them, they're just like, it means the world to them, and it's really cool. It's one of those little things that, once again, motivation it's fleeting, but it's whether it's a little kick in the pants or it's a hey, job well done, keep it up. They mean something to the people. and it's a handmade thing. It's, you didn't just order them a little something off a website and send them that way. It's been really, really cool.
Yeah.
The feedback's been great.
Yeah, and piggyback on what Ryan was saying, we actually had a spinoff of 4. We gave 4 giveaways through Shamrock Fitness as well. And exactly what Ryan was saying, I had a few people that wanted to pay it forward. And that is so awesome when you win something. And even though, I mean, look, this thing right here is awesome. I only take it off the shower. But when you win something and you go, you know what? You know who inspires me? This person inspires me. I want to send it to this person, Yeah.
See, and that was the most beautiful thing about it, dude. I can tell you right now is when I was getting my phone, every day I'd wake up and I'd have 5, 10, 15, orders. I'm like, shit, man, I'm back to work again. So, but the cool thing was it was like he was saying it's like, I'm buying this. I want to order this for so-and-so. And everybody started buying them and paying them forward to other people. And it was, it was really an amazing thing to me. And that still goes on. I have a list right now of about 5 or 6 people. So when I start making them again, that I'm going to start, I've got to bang those out first.
And I'm telling you what, right now, Scott, there's a piece that you made for me, and I won't go too much into it, but there's a piece, there's a necklace that you made for me, and it was a memorial piece, and I got it from an idea from another customer of yours, but it hit home, and it was perfect, and I took that idea as well and passed it on. But it was
Smitty,
one of the Smitty, baby,
Smitty. Yeah. Yep. I was so honored. Some of the pieces I've done, some of them were so moving and very, very just very emotional. A lot of emotional gravity to some of the pieces. I've done memorial pieces. I've done all kinds of pieces. But I have good news for you. Starting tomorrow, I'm moving my burn shop into my house.
What's the wife? What's Amy think of it?
I'm sure Amy loves that.
Yeah, so I'm taking over one of the bedrooms. So we have a split floor plan. So we got 2 bedrooms on one side of the house, and ours is on the other. So I'm going to take one of the spare bedrooms because you always think you're going to move somewhere and get a lot of visitors. People are going to come out here during the winter because it's Phoenix or blah blah blah. So I'm like, you know what? You're never going to fill up 2 bedrooms at a time. I think we only filled up 2 bedrooms at a time with guests. I think only once or twice. So.
And you didn't like those people, anyways.
Yeah.
They're going to get an air mattress next time.
Or a squishy tiger to sleep on.
What was that? Sopranos? Just when you think he's out, he's back in. Is that the right reference? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to start making. I'll be making challenge coins again soon.
Lavinia, actually, when she ordered the challenge coins, she's like, shall I order one for Boz? And then she was like, no, he hasn't done anything to deserve one.
When he calls the right side, we'll get him the challenge coin.
Yeah, exactly. Just to add, when I gave her shit just now on the show, she heard me through the door and texted me, "We are one."
Yes, you are.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I just want to also, speaking of challenge coins real quick, I just want to say that unfortunately there were some people that were under the impression that that if they just did a good job, if they were persistent or whatever, that somehow they were just going to get, I would mail them a challenge coin. And I've had many people reach out to me like, what do I have to do? I've been trying to get your attention. I want a coin. And, I'm like, oh, I feel bad. I'm like, well, so anyway, so I'm like, well, there's different ways. You can be gifted one. You can order one.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And
you can give them a shout out on a nationally recognized podcast. You can do that. Hey.
Internationally, please.
Yeah, Tom. Wink. I'm still waiting on my coin, Tom. Wink.
Actually, no. Like Travis has already got one, so it kind of spoils it. But we shouldn't have one until Dobbins has come up with our nicknames and they get scribed on the back of them.
Hey, there you go.
Well, at the rate that he works, we might have him by 2022. So you got plenty of time to get that burger shop moved inside. That's right, Dobbins. Yeah. What do you got?
Dobbins, hey, he got a couple of challenge coins too. Yeah, I made him. You see his? His are cool shit, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And sometimes I would look at that.
He honestly he jumps right into anybody in the community and tries his best to buy into what they got. So yeah, he's a quality
He's
dude
awesome.
for sure.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
So speaking of the wife, real quick, I don't want to let you off the hook without talking about her, because I always see you do like quick little brags. You always talk about how she doesn't like the limelight. But you had even said that you were getting ready to do a DDP yoga workout. She's like, I'm already done. So like, how did that? I mean, she never set out to do this either, right?
No.
Along?
Yeah. So, well, she saw me. It was like I said, October 15th of 2018, when the month after I had my aha moment. And my birthday, so it was like a week after my birthday, and I was looking at the Arthur video, and I look over my shoulder, and I was like, "Hey, honey, can I get one more birthday present? I want to get the DVDs." So she hooked me up. So I did the DVDs. I did DDPY from October to December, and she saw me just like putting in the work like crazy, and she saw how I was getting better. So then in December, around Christmas time, I asked her. Well, it was just before Christmas. Anyway, so 2 months later, I asked Amy in December if she would be interested in doing it, just to join me to help, give me support. And she's such an amazing girl that she's like, of course I'll do it. She didn't even hesitate a second. Even though this girl, she's 5'2" and like 105 pounds. And I mean, she walks and works out. She has videos. I mean, she hikes. I mean, she's just amazing. So when I asked her to join me, to help support me, and she did, she was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. The first thing she says, I just don't see how yoga can be a workout.
Bro.
Heard that one before.
Bro, hold on, bro.
Yeah. Engage the lower half, bro.
So she's been doing it. So she first of all, because of her profession and her job, she doesn't do social media posting at all. She works at a very high level for a big company, and so she keeps it very low. She doesn't post shit hardly. And so I brag for her whenever I can. But just recently, I guess a couple months ago, she's like, yeah, I need something a little bit tougher. I'm like, have you tried any Christina's workouts? And so she started getting into some of Christina, and Christina's been kicking my wife's ass here for the last couple of months. So she's
good at it.
Rediscovered Christina's been smoking her ass. But she still does it. Yeah.
Christina pushes the limits, man, between pace and what she wants you to do. It's not just the diamond dozen thrown in a different order when it's Christina's workouts. There's some Pilates stuff in there.
Oh, there's core.
Yeah.
She loves core.
And lots of core.
Oh, yeah.
Christina's
lying about numbers. Anyway.
So speaking about powerful women, 5-year-old Tom has a question.
Uh-oh.
Yay!
Scott?
I'm going to need to make a jingle. I'm going to make a jingle for 5-year-old Tom.
5-year-old Tom wants to know,
I can have
Scott.
Mason record it.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So 5-year-old Tom has been dying to know, Scott, are you scared of Carol Baskin?
I got a confession to make. I've never seen one episode of that damn show.
I thought for sure
How
you
the
guys
fuck have you never watched a show about your life?
Are you crazy?
Literally.
You mean you don't know that
established
bitch? Carol Baskins?
If you take away the meth and the gayness, it's Scott's life.
Dude, I tell you what, man, I am so technically challenged, dude. Like, I have the remote to my television. It's got an on-off button and channels and volume button, and all those other shows are like on Amazon. It requires the other remote. I can't figure out 2 remotes. I never watched it.
My second question for 5-year-old Tom, if that one flopped, was, is this man your daddy?
That's my stepbrother.
You better go visit him. He's missing.
My stepbrother.
He's
not doing so well. Oh.
Yeah, actually, that guy that runs the other exotic animal farm, he just got indicted on federal charges.
Really?
So
Did he?
he's,
Oh, wow.
done
the guy
good.
Jump in, Scott.
The guy from Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Oh, Doc Ansel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doc. Yeah, he is getting fucking wrecked.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, Scott, this has been it's been so cool hearing, the origin of it all, let alone, everything you've been able to work through and continue to work. And, obviously you continue to inspire people every single day, whether it's the coins or the battalion group or anything else. We're going to wrap this up, but we're going to get into Tom's nutrition segment. You want to stick around for it, or do you got to hit the hay?
No, sounds
Hell
great.
yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome.
But Scott, I do want you to know, man, you inspire me so much. There's a lot of people in this community that, have made impacts that just jump in. They're there for like a minute and then they fizzle out. And you're one of the people that, since I've been in the community, I think we kind of joined around the same time, man. You're doing such an amazing job. I just want you, we don't get to interact too much just because we're so fucking busy, but man, I just want you to know, it's recognized. I mean, I love what you've been doing.
Thank you, bro, man. I really appreciate that. You as
I know
well,
the work
man.
you put into it, man. It's so hard. We all work really, really hard at kind of bettering the community. It takes so much fucking time, so much effort.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I'm gonna be frank with you, man. Thank you very much, because you guys have inspired me too. And like Tom, I remember you were in that Positively Unstoppable challenge and stuff, and I just want to.
Silver's way cooler on you anyways, man.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm glad you reminded him because I think he forgot. But
No,
and when your skin is gold, you don't want a gold medal as well. Silver's more of a contrast.
Oh, exactly.
it was inspiring to see other people, and you were in there as well. And I remember that's when you popped up on my radar, and the whole thing about this that we're doing here in this whole DDPY community, the only thing that we need to do is be consistent over a period of time. And that's the only thing, because that is the answer. I mean, yeah, I've slacked off on the diet and put a couple of pounds back on, but the main thing is it's consistency. It's not giving up. Yeah. And that's the whole thing, Tom, that like I saw, like you were out there just hammering away as well. And, when you see these people, like everybody here on this program right now, hammering it out over a period of time. That's what is inspiring to people. That is what, for one, it's the key. It's the key to success,
And we all wander together at some point, right? So what's so cool is each one of us have our story, and somehow we just all end up together because we recognize how hard everybody's working. And there's the people that are in and out of the program all the time. That's what's so cool, is to see the consistency you've been adding. So it's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah. So how often do you see, hey, guys, I'm back at it?
Yeah.
And then,
we won't be hearing Scott saying I'm back, because he ain't fucking going anywhere.
Damn right.
Well, the funny thing is that, like, I'm hitting my 2-year anniversary. I feel like these last few months in COVID, I do feel like I've kind of slipped away. So I do feel like I need to have a comeback. So,
well, don't make a post about it, because it ends terribly for everybody that does.
Oh, no.
Ryan, are you saying the comeback is the proverbial horror story ring?
It's the nail in the coffin for
Somebody's about to get killed. I'm back.
Hey guys, I'll be back.
Yeah, but it's different. Like if I was to say, "Hey guys, I'm back," they'd be like, "Well, you're here every fucking day. You're constantly
exactly
fucking left, man."
In the ass.
Hey guys, does anybody think Scott's kind of going dementia? What's going on?
Right.
We haven't seen him in 3 hours.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
All right. So,
talking about the consistency, one of the things that came across in this program for me, and I was probably a year and a half into it, and I started well and then dropped off, and then it took me a while to find the consistency. One of the things that helped with that was understanding that the people whose transformations I looked at and went, oh my God, that's incredible, I want that for me, their journey was not 2 months, 3 months. The time frame that stood out to me was 18 months. I couldn't even imagine doing a fitness system for 18 months. But at some point, I set my goal, weight, and I set it for within 18 months. And I didn't try and rush it. I didn't try and push anything. And yeah, sure enough, around about that time, that's when I hit my goal, pretty much. But it wasn't ever going to be a quick fix, but it was consistency that got me there, and nothing else. Really. Absolutely.
Here's one of the other observations is that for me, it was functional. my purpose in doing DDPY was for function, not so much for how I looked. So like right now, yeah, I'm an extra 15, 18 pounds heavier or whatever, but I'm a fit fat. my core is still tight. So, you know, it's like my thing is like every morning and every night I'm doing can opener and I'm doing, you know, the easy twist and the stretches and stuff.
Are you certified to do that?
Huh?
Are you certified to do can opener? I'm just kidding.
Who's got Heather on speed dial?
Don't tell Heather.
Slow.
Calling Heather right now.
Do not tell Heather. There's about 4 people you don't want to tell that to.
That I'm slipping into can opener a different way from down dog.
Yep.
I told her the other day, I'm slipping into can opener from down dog. She's like, huh? I'll show you. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm going to do the window switchy thing. I'm going to bring Tom center stage. And as usual, we have a different name. I realize this poll isn't happening yet because the names are still coming. So ladies and gentlemen, this week's Tom's Nutrition segment, as suggested by the one and only Aaron Johnson, as previously mentioned, is Tommy Tom's Tummy Time.
That's a good one. Aaron, thank you as always, man.
I love Aaron. God.
He's so great. Well, guys, we talked last week. We were talking for the next 3 weeks. Next 3 episodes, we're going to do all the macronutrients. Last week, we talked about the importance of protein, which I think is the most important macronutrient. Now, I think we're going to talk about the most misunderstood is fat. So we've got some misinformation that we want to just cover and some myths that I'm sure all of you guys have heard. So I'm just going to start throwing some things out you guys have probably heard before. If you eat fat, you're going to get fat. Eating fat will give you a heart attack and you'll die. Your diet should be as low in fat as possible. But then there's a wave of people saying, hey, wait, no, some fats are healthy, but some are not. Some people say high-fat diets are the best way. They're better than low-fat diets, but only if you're eating the right kind of fat. And then some people say, hey, high-fat diets burn more fat. So go ahead and eat as much fat as you want. So guys, I'm going to bring this up to you guys. What the fuck, all right? What do we have to do about this? So this is what this whole segment's all about. We need to break this down. We need to use science and logic. So dietary fat is the first thing we have to talk about. Is not the same as fat that's on our body, right? So we know that. So directly eating fat does not get converted right into body fat. So you ingest fat, it doesn't just turn into body fat. Dietary fat actually has a lot of really, really important things to do in our body. So helps maintain our health in many ways. Helps absorb vitamins. It's used to create various hormones in the body. They keep your hair and skin healthy, and there's many other processes in the body that it aids in. Now, our body actually needs a certain amount of essential fatty acids to survive. Fat is actually an essential nutrient, and essential fatty acids must be consumed in our diet. So our body doesn't produce those fats. We have to consume them. So the first thing we do is kind of break down what the fats are. We'll go through some of the myths, and then we'll kind of open it up as we always do. So first thing we're going to talk about are the 3 different types of dietary fat. So saturated fat is the type of fat that's in meats, dairy products, eggs, coconut oil, bacon fat, and lard. So if we're looking at and I'll have Boz put up a little picture, the carbon chain is completely linked to every single carbon on the carbon chain is linked to a hydrogen molecule. So that means that the molecule is more rigid, and saturated fats are always found solid at room temperature. The other type of fats we're going to talk about are unsaturated fats. So those are your olives and olive oils, avocado and avocado oils, nuts and nut butters, and fish. Now, not all the carbons in the carbon chain are linked to a hydrogen. So this makes the molecule a little bit more fluid in nature, and that you'll also find unsaturated fats to be liquid at room temperature. So let's break that down even a little further. There's 2 different types of unsaturated fats. There's monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats. To make it even more confusing, the polyunsaturated fats are broken into 2 things we talk about a lot. Alpha linoleic acid, ALA, that's considered omega-3 fatty acids. And then there's linoleic acids, LA, which are omega-6 fatty acids. Now, we're not going to get into the details of all of that. You would get a PhD in molecular chemistry to understand all that. But I just want you to know those are those terms you guys have all heard before. The last fat we're going to talk about are trans fats. And those are unsaturated fats that occur naturally in some meats and dairy products. But more importantly, they're manufactured industrially by infusing vegetable oil with hydrogen. So you guys have seen on many nutritional labels, hydrogenated oil. So think about peanut butter as opposed to natural peanut butter. We have our natural peanut butter. The peanuts crushed sit at the bottom. The oil stays on the top. The processed peanut butter is all one liquid. It's all, just kind of one gelatinous fluid because they infuse a hydrogenated oil to make it stable on the shelf. So trans fats are also found in many commercial cookies, cakes, baked goods. It increases the shelf stability because trans fats don't easily go rancid. So that's why we can have a Twinkie on a shelf for 2,000 years. So the previous thought in the 50s and 70s, there was originally based on observational studies showing that people who consumed a lot of saturated fats had higher rates of death from heart disease. Now, this diet heart hypothesis states that saturated fats increase your cholesterol levels, and most importantly, LDL cholesterol. Those are your bad cholesterols. So if that starts to go up in the blood, the theory was that lodges in your arteries and it causes heart disease. Now, this hypothesis has never formally been proven, but most official dietary guidelines were based on it. So in the 70s and 80s, they really started in all food products. They started reducing the amount of fat in food products, and they started replacing saturated fats with two things: extra refined carbohydrates and trans fats. And that's where we got that American food, the food pyramid, which really stated that we should eliminate most fats and we should start to increase your carbohydrate intake. At that time, the meat and dairy
standard
industry
American diet's called sad for a reason.
Exactly. So at that time, you guys know too, the meat and dairy industry were demonized. They said you should never consume red meat. You should never consume eggs. So this issue is still debated, but numerous recent studies have shown that there's no link between saturated fat consumption and heart disease. So I went through and picked out, if you guys ever want these studies too, you can always write into the show. I always keep a log of those, but there's a whole bunch of systematic reviews and meta-analysis which review that. So one of them that I picked out here, just to kind of show you the scope, it's a review of 73 different studies. Overall, there's 339,000 participants, right? So that's almost 500,000 participants. The result of that study shows saturated fat intake is not linked with heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, or dying of any cause. So that puts that myth to rest. So a lot of people that still to this day, we hear that talked about all the time. People say, if you eat fat, you get fat. If you consume saturated fat, you'll get heart disease. And we both know that those are now kind of eliminated as myths. Now, unlike saturated fat, there's zero controversy over monosaturated fat. There's multiple scientific studies that show it reduces your risk of heart disease. It decreases inflammation, improves your mood. It can increase your muscle mass. You can increase your cognitive performance. It can actually increase the rate of fat loss and so many more benefits. Now, we talked about unsaturated fats. We broke them up, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. In that polyunsaturated category, we talked about omega-6s and omega-3s, right? A lot of people just immediately say omega-6s are generally bad, omega-3s are generally good. So we're not going to get into too many details of why that is, but if I were to give you any advice, breaking up the polyunsaturated fats, you probably want to increase as many omega-3s as possible. You're already getting omega-6s in most of your food sources. The last thing that I want to talk about are the trans fats. And I always say that moderation is the key with any diet, but there is little argument at this point that artificial trans fats should be completely eliminated from anyone's diet. There's no reason we should be consuming these. The studies show that even relatively small amounts of these fats can increase a whole host of health problems, including heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, breast cancer, depression, and so many more. I have a great review that was written at Harvard. Trans fatty acids, TFA consumption causes metabolic dysfunction. It adversely affects circulating lipid levels. It triggers systemic inflammation, induces endothelial dysfunction, which that is probably the cause of heart disease. And according to some diseases, it increases visceral adipocity, which means fat, body weight, and insulin resistance. Consistent with these adverse physiological results, consumption of even small amounts, 2% of your daily caloric value, is consistently associated with marked increase in the incidence of coronary heart disease. So what do we need to kind of take out of that, right? So, the other thing I wanted to mention too, in the same research, naturally occurring trans fats have not nearly the same effect as these artificially things, the artificial trans fats. So the major take home is stay away from hydrogenated oils at all. And how do we do that is try to reduce our amount of processed foods. Now, an interesting fact, guys, even though it says no trans fat on the label, doesn't mean that there's no trans fat in that food. There's a certain amount of trans fat that can be put in a food product and labeled as 0 on the label. So just make sure that if you are purchasing processed foods, understand there probably is some trans fats in
That's
there.
dodgy
So
as hell.
it's super dodgy. And the same thing happens with a lot of other like MSG and a lot of other things. You can get
Or
away
even
with a lot of food label.
no calorie foods. It's no calorie in that serving. But if you ate the entire box of that, you could actually be generating calories. So people that are on intermittent fasting or.
Yeah, it could be 0.99 calories in one serving. That one serving could be a small amount. So
could be a Tic Tac.
Could be a Tic Tac. So we have to be careful with all these things. So the last thing I want to mention, you guys. Exactly. We talked about those systematic reviews about and the meta-analysis about the saturated fats. Here's the kind of the take home here. Reducing saturated in fat intake has zero effect on the risk of heart disease or death. So there's really probably an upper limit of how much we should be eating. They're not sure what that is, but most guidelines say 10% of your daily caloric value should be of saturated fats, no more. Within the next few years, as more research comes out, they will show you that it's safer to consume higher amounts, but it is not associated with heart disease. Here's the interesting fact, though. If you take the saturated fats from these diets and you replace it with mono and polyunsaturated fats, the same amount of calories, it will reduce your risk of cardiovascular events. Okay, so that's an interesting fact. The other interesting thing is if you replace those saturated fats, take those calories out and replace them with refined carbohydrates, every single study shows that it increases your risk of heart disease. So in the 70s and 80s, we removed all the fat from our food products and we replaced it with what? Two things, trans fat and refined carbohydrates. And we did the exact opposite of what we thought was going to be the result. We actually started to induce more risk of heart disease adding those things. So that's all I had to say. I know that's a lot, but fat is just so misunderstood. And we hear this every single day. Eat fat, get fat. Not true. Abundance of calories, you'll get fat, right? So those fat, you can eat too many carbs, you eat too much protein, you eat too many, just the over amount of calories is what gets you heavy. And number two is just stay away from those trans fats if possible. Do not demonize the other types of fat. So I know that's a mouthful, guys. You guys have anything else that you wanted to add to that or any questions?
Yeah, Tom, I have a question for you.
Yes,
this is just a toss it out there. You mentioned 70s and 80s. When they're doing all of these surveys and all of these questions and follow these diets that people are eating, are they taking in factor of the alcohol content, the smoking, the sedentary lifestyle, anything else that goes on? Because, back in the day, when they say, well, this is bad, this food's bad, that food's bad, well, are they taking in consideration everything else that was going on?
Every individual study is going to be different, right? New studies that are considered to be really, really scientifically sound are going to really, really control every single thing that's consumed by those people, right? Those studies back in the day, they may not have. The other thing is dodgy statistics. If you look at that major study by Ansel and Keyes, which was done in the 60s that showed that saturated fat is what caused the LDLs to get higher, the statistics are really skewed. So he included some things, he unincluded certain things.
The 7-country study where he studied 22 countries and chose the 7 that fit his hypothesis, that then formed the backbone for the entire movement to remove fat from your foods.
Right.
So this is the importance of meta-analysis and systemic studies, right? So what a meta-analysis is, I know I've been saying this week after week and I never explain what that is. That's a review of all the literature, right? They take all the data of all the literature and they boil it down instead of just one study.
Research.
100%, right? And it's all peer reviewed. It's the best way to get a review, right? And so if you're looking at now modern nutritional studies, if they're looking at, let's say, how much saturated fat someone can consume, it's very controlled. They do not, it's in a metabolic ward. They're giving the people the amount of food. They're studying all their other behaviors. With previous studies, it may have just been observational. They've just seen these people are getting higher heart rates, but they don't know. Well, they probably did know, but they could have been smoking. They could have been drinking. They could have been doing all the other things that we don't know that causes heart disease. So it's really skewed. And the problem is bad news travels for a long time. I mean, our entire
retractions rarely get seen.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
There's conspiracy theories too. A lot of people said that the sugar industry had paid for this to get out there. I don't know if there's any truth.
Grain industry paid for the original food pyramid, all that stuff. Yep.
There's all these things, but the big thing is now we just have to pay attention to what we're looking. Science has never been better, right? So there's a lot of good information out there, but unfortunately you still hear the same things. Heather and I asked her, and I asked you guys too, what are some fat myths that you want. And so she showed me a nutritional label, and this was so cool. I never heard this one before. She was raised on looking at the label, and if it had saturated fat, it was bad, because sat means that it sits on your body.
Oh, really?
Amazing.
Right? And she was raised that in the 80s. That was the way it was, right? And I never heard that before. My grandmother taught me this, and I've been done it the whole time. And I was like, that's so true. But if you think about at that time, literally that's when skim milk became really, really popular. Yeah. And that's when all the food products, they just kept shoveling all these other refined carbohydrates in there. And they're finding that's more of the...
my mom did.
Well, when you grow up poor, you don't look at... Go ahead, boss.
Yeah. I would say I just remember my mum getting all the fat out of everything. Like everything was low fat for years. Mm-hmm. One of the best analogies I heard is that the thing about heart disease and fat causing heart disease is because obviously when you have a coronary artery and they cut it open, there's lots of cholesterol deposits around that area, which have caused the clot. So someone analogized this as so that by that logic, ambulances cause road accidents. Because when you see a road accident, there's always an ambulance there, right?
Yeah, what do they call that? A straw man argument, I think. Is that what that is? Yeah. So you see a lot of that, and people will die on this stuff. They will say that you still can't eat an egg or you still can't have a steak. Guys, moderation is the key. We talk about this every single week. We just have to kind of know if we're going to be following a certain diet, why are we doing it that way? If we're going to be following certain myths, why are we going to do that? Why are we continue demonizing things that maybe should be demonized and not? And the idea that trans fats were even invented is really the major problem with most people's health issues these days.
When I think of no fat, this is forever in my head. The Snackwell's cookies that came out.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So look, they're still advertising 40% less fat.
Yeah.
There are, I want to say 53 grams of sugars in one fucking serving. But you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose weight though, because there's no fat. And literally, I remember that marketing to this day. It's Snackwell's cookies and Yoplait no-fat yogurt.
Yeah.
Well, that's what every suburban house mom ate because they were going to lose weight.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we need to get away from, and I did myself, and I'm just talking to myself, with that specifically is get the snack out of your vocabulary. I used to work out with these people, and we were on the paleo diet, right? And we were following the paleo menu, if you will. Well, these ladies came in. I love them to death. This lady said, I found the perfect paleo upside down pineapple cake or whatever. And I said, well, you should get cake out of your vocabulary. Let's follow the paleo.
Wait, hold on. Your team have the cupcake, my dude. What the fuck you saying here?
Wait
Whoa.
Here's the problem. Whoa. Okay, well, no, I agree with you in a sense. If you can't limit yourself, you don't need to have that cupcake in your house.
You're 100% right. People, they start making changes, and then eventually those immediate changes, they have a lot of really good benefits. So the first thing they seek out for are replacements.
Right.
Yes. Substitutes for all the shit they would be eating if they weren't eating healthy.
And if you just cut it.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Psychologically, it's really hard for some people. That's one of the hardest things is that we really always, as a nutrition coach, when you're dealing with our clients, the first thing you're say, if I'm taking this out, what am I replacing it with? And it's really, really difficult to have the conversation of saying, well, you didn't really need that in the first place.
Well, I guess on a mental part, maybe looking at me, it's funny. I have a sales rep that I used to ride around with, and he used to comment on how I never bought snacks throughout the day. And growing up poor, I guess, maybe that's the mental part of it. I might have some money in my pocket, but maybe I think I don't have money in my pocket.
See, I grew up poor, but I always had a quarter for some Nutty Buddies, my dude.
Right. But buying extra was never a thing for me. So it's the snacking was never an issue. So he throughout the day, I arrived with him at 7:30 in the morning, and he would eat a snack, a diet drink, get to the next door, another diet drink, and next door, lunch. And then it's basically 3-4 diet drinks throughout the day, a couple of snacks and lunch in between. It's like, whew. How about just add that up, man? Let's just get frugal. You're spending $10 extra, 12, 13, 14, 15 extra dollars a day, you know?
Yeah.
Just let's not even look at it as a health issue. Put that money back in your pocket. You know?
Jeez. Well, the problem is those soft drinks, which are just poison. Those soft drinks are just so affordable, and it's cheap. People go to the drive-through or they go to the fast food restaurant, and it's almost cheaper to buy the combo meal because it includes the sugary drink and everything. And it's unbelievable the amount of calories and syrup and poison in those drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Fridays I'll pick up Buffalo Wild Wings for me and one of my coworkers because they're traditional wings with their buffalo dry rub.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah,
Yep.
that's where it's
Is that
at.
a plug?
But
We can pay for this.
yeah.
I need to take my shirt off. I got
I
Buffalo
don't
Wild
need
Wings
payment.
coming up.
I just get the free wings, my dude. So she always gets a combo, and she's always watching what she's eating. So she'll get a combo, and she'll be like, "Oh, I got it with a Sprite." First thing I do is dump that Sprite out, and I bring her a fucking cup, and it's empty every time.
You can put water in
Don't
it.
have me pick up the food.
Yeah.
You bastard.
Yeah, well, gotta help them. Hey, I don't want to hear you complaining about weight if you're doing that. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
It's me helping you.
Well, that's definitely one of the things that even Dallas talks about. It's like, look, man, before I or anybody else needs to help you, you have to help yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
and understanding what is really important as opposed to what's not is the key. Is if you're willing to help yourself, that's great, and that's the first pit. And then you have to kind of figure out, what do I need to do for myself? Because there's so much out there. That's why we're doing this segment, right? It's because there's so much shit out there. We have to kind of really, really boil it down to, if you're going to spend all this time, one thing is we have a workout system, which is very effective, right? All the bullshit's cut out. We can do this. We're done. The hard part is eating. It's 80 to 90% of your success. It's always going to be that way. How do we fucking boil that down? And it's so hard.
And then that.
Yeah. Next week, guys, is the triggered week. It's the carbs. I'm going to probably have to split up to two. You guys are all going to hate everything I have to say, but it's the facts. It's science. But it's interesting. It's going to be really, it's science, bitches. And I'm going to be called a bitch a lot from what I say about the carbs. But the same thing with the fat. There's still going to be people that are going to say, no, that's not right.
Yeah, fuck your bread.
You're still going to eat a steak and die. It is what it is.
I think the most important thing that when I first started on that journey, when I wound up losing, I think I had lost 49 pounds. The most important thing, or the biggest eye opener for me, was when I started actually inputting my food and tracking it and inputting it into an app. I find that when I get away from doing that is when I find myself slipping. So I think one of the biggest things is like people, when I went to this, to the retreat, not the retreat, but the Dallas workouts, what do you call them? Not a seminar.
Workshop.
Yeah, I went to the workshop with Dallas, and one of the first questions, at the end of the workout when he opens it up, it's always about diet. What do you eat? What do you eat? And I remember he was very clear. He's like, that is, it's what works for some people is not going to work for other people. And it goes back to, I don't know which one of you guys just said it, but you got to want it first before. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, they want the secret, they want the magic pill, but they don't realize that the secret is, for one, you got to be ready to hear it. Tom's saying, here's the story about fat guys. Here's the story next week about carbs. You might not want to hear it, but you got to be ready to receive it. I think Travis and I
am selling the secret. If anybody wants $49.99, just send it right to hitthematpodcast@gmail.com. I will send you the secret.
There you go.
A lot of
copies of the book. Oh, by the way.
Well, that's funny. A lot of people talk about, and you guys have seen 100 times, what's your motivation? Motivation. And a lot of times before motivation, an action has to come before motivation.
Yeah. And discipline is much, much more important than motivation. I mean,
discipline and practice. And practice.
Yep.
Human beings, when you want something bad enough as a human being, you can't tell me when you think about one thing in your life that you didn't want so damn bad that you didn't go after it. If you want something bad enough in this world, you're going to get it one way or another. So, when I sometimes I'm hard on people, hard on myself or whatever, but you know what? You just don't want it bad enough. you got to, if you want it bad enough, you're going to figure out a way to do it. You know, I mean, it's
an unpopular thought these days because they just want it. Bring it to me. I'm not going to go out and get it. Come on, I'm going to sit here and you're going to bring me all the success.
I got Amazon Prime, man.
Hey, 2 days delivered to my door. Scott, I'm so glad you said that too, man, because it's frustrating for all of us because we all try to support people, and that's usually the first thing that you see is people just want, you know, they don't want it bad enough, and if they do, they never have worked that hard to really get there. They'll try for a week and then just say, okay. It didn't come as easy. They don't see what we're doing behind the scenes, you know?
They
don't understand all the sacrifices. It's that patch. We got to get that patch from Vance, by the way.
Yeah, seriously. We should make a fake infomercial with it, dude. We really should.
Vance is awesome.
A better hit the mat patch. Oh, God.
I'm not against that. Not against that at all.
There you go.
It's the size of a yoga mat. You stick it across your whole face. We could go.
That's what it is. It's a mask. It's gonna be.
We could go totally Hesh and have a jean jacket back patch. Better hit the mat.
Embroidered yoga mats.
There you go.
All right, well, you guys ready to wrap this shit up? I'm past my eating window.
So.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna lose all your gains.
I always hear that shit. I'm past my eating window.
You're gonna lose your gains.
Fuck you, man. I'm trying to eat. Let's go.
Hey, man. I love you, man.
Travis is past his drinking window.
liquid bread.
Not quite. I got one. I have one more. I haven't opened yet.
Right, well, that's it from, I have to read it now. Tom's Tummy Time is what it was. Thank you for that.
Well done, Aaron. Well done.
Yeah. So we're going to bring this to a close. Scott, we can't thank you enough for coming on. It's been so much fun. And
thank you.
I think you've dropped some truth bombs, to quote last week, that people are going to take away. And I think you really have inspired a lot of people. So as usual, we're going to go around and give you the links and where you can find everybody. So Ryan?
If you want to reach out to us, be sure to shoot us an email or a video. We love the videos. Thank you again, Ryan, for the one earlier. Reach us at hitthematpodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube. If you are listening to us on a podcast app, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Podbean, CastBox, everybody but that fucking Pandora, be sure you leave us a review, leave us a like, share it with your friends, guys. This is a lot of fun to do, and we love hearing from new people. We love knowing that other people are introducing others to what we're doing. And then from here, I guess if you guys want to give out your social medias, Boz, go ahead and lead the charge.
Okay, you can find us at Back on Track Living on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you go to Patreon, you can join our Shark Tank and become a tanketeer and do our workouts on Mondays. On Wednesday. Mondays are free on Facebook. You do the Shark Tank workouts on Wednesday and Saturday. There you go. I fucked that up. Over to you, Scott.
Okay, so you can reach me on Facebook at DDPY Tiger Battalion. We've got a group of about 300 people on there that are working out at least 15 days out of the month. And then my Instagram is scott.french792. You can hit me up on there. And that's about it.
Thank you. Ryan?
You can find me at Burn the Boats Fitness on both Facebook and on Instagram. You can reach out to me on MySpace at Be Unstoppable Athletics. It's all of my stuff from high school. It's super cringy, but I'm not taking it down because I'm proud of who I was and I'm proud of who I am. I am Dr. Tom.
So proud of you.
Tom?
All right, guys. You can find me at www.beunstoppableathletics.com for my coaching services. I am now taking new one-on-one nutritional and fitness clients. So if you're looking to have individualized training with me, I'd be more than happy to take you on as a client. You can also find me at Facebook on Be Unstoppable Athletics and also at Project Mayhem. That's where we're teaching our new Zoom classes. Sarah Fortune and I are teaching multiple Zoom classes per week. You can also find me a brand new website. This is going to be really cool. It's www.brazzers.com/shamcockfitness. Over to you, pal.
Is that monthly or is it a weekly subscription?
It depends. We're doing payment plans. You can get in there you can actually pay by the minute if you'd like to.
Wrist movement.
I only need 3.
That's it. So I mean, if you're
You can get it by the photo, possibly.
If you're a person that likes value, you'll want to get the monthly subscription. But if you just need a quick in and out, just pay us. So,
Don't we all?
/Shamcock Fitness.
That's what she said.
I heard that you could possibly get a free subscription with a photo submission. So, but anyway,
I'm willing to negotiate anything at this point in my life. So. And there goes all my credibility.
I'm a doctor, I promise.
Somebody was like, "Hey, I want to take that guy on. He sounds like a good coach." Oh no, he sells porn. Forget it. Done.
All right, Trev.
Okay, you can reach me at The Real Shamrock Fitness on Instagram. Facebook, you can reach me at Shamrock Fitness, a DDPY experience. And you can see me on Zoom 8 classes a week on transitioncoach.ca.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So as ever, we're going to end the same way. I'm going to put my leopard skin on. We'll catch you next time. As ever, go and slay it this week. Hit the mat.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Better Hit The Mat podcast.
I got like spots.
Incredible.
How to look after your eyes with Dr. Tom.
There it is. Don't do
Let me
as I
show
do.
you guys what you should. Yeah, exactly. Let me show you what you shouldn't do. Step 1, look into the sun. Step
directly
2.
in.
No, motherfuckers.
I've had 4 Guinness.
Look at that.
Yeah.
See that? It's a fucking loophole. See how
I'm telling on you.
that fucking
Telling on you.
loophole? Look at that. Giant loophole. See the shit you can grin? Right in that loophole.
That's the second hole on your body that big.
That's right. 3, 2, 1. 1.
Fuck you guys. I'm repping the Halloween thing. It's Christmas for me. Right.
Okay, you do.
Florida.
Oh, do you have stuff in there?
Yep.
Up here. The
Travis has seen that
Necronomicon
before.
Ex Mortis. No one recognized that. Book of the Dead. Never mind.
Yes, I know. I know. I have Bruce Campbell's cell phone number if you ever want it. No, motherfuckers.
What?
Give it up for the real Tiger King, Scott French.
Woo.
Who's not He's not here yet, by the way. I was going to ask how many days it was before it became.
Let us see. Is it still?
It's gone. But so we filmed on Sunday. On Monday after work, I went and got a massage and fucking forgot that thing was on my back. Didn't think about it till afterwards, right? So that lady, I got an hour and a half massage. 70 minutes that was me on my stomach. There was just a little bit I slipped over. She stared at that thing. I guarantee you that made the most uncomfortable thing for her to think about.
She
Why
was
the
like,
fuck
this man
does this kid have
perverted.
little kid prints with a Sharpie poorly written on his lower back.
Next thing you know, there's a black van following you around and shit.
Definitely.
You should have turned around and said, "It's a try before you buy."
I had completely forgotten about it. I got home. Heather's like, "How's the massage?" She's like, "Good." She's like, "Well, what'd she think about your tattoo?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck."
She's like,
There we go. Oh, boy. Yeah, boy. Hey, lights out. Uh-huh. Blast, blast, blast.
We're singing. We need it. This is what the show needs.
I've had 4 Guinness.
Now, which one is the Gmail?
I don't.
What's that?
you is working.
Look at you. Rawr.
There
See
you
you guys
go.
all having fun talking shit, man. I know you're talking shit.
Fuck yeah, we are. Non-stop
Especially you,
shit.
motherfucker. You.
I've had 4 Guinness.
If Scott wasn't here, I'd tell you guys to fuck off a long time ago.
I'm done, man.
But I respect that man up there. I don't want to get linked up.
I apologize for talking so damn
No,
much.
that's what you're here for,
man. That's why you're here.
We talk every episode.
We never want to have you back, but we'll let you talk.
Yeah, you're actually, you talk so much we don't need a revisit. We're just going to assume that's the whole story. No, motherfuckers.
What?
Now, which one is the Gmail?
I've had 4 Guinness.